Hi, low internet. I'm back. It is the future now, so I suppose I can canonically be here talking to you. It has been a good while. As you can see on your screen, it has been 3 months since the last IIP Director Speaks update video. So I decided that, especially since we just came off of, not that anyone would know this, a multiple hours long discussion amongst the upper creative team of the IIP as to where we were at and how we were planning on progressing forwards. Um, I decided that as director, I should come out and make some sort of discussion about the things that were raised in the process of that conversation, because a lot of them are massive for the future of this project. Some alterations to the trajectory and pathing of the entire IIP, a clarification on the messages and hope of the project in general, and some very cool news as well. So, let's get right into it. The first thing on most people's minds, I am sure, when it comes to the IIP, as it is sort of the flagship item for us, is the Diamond City Lights cover. Um, this last you knew, I had just finished casting the solos um, from within our ranks, and we had begun the mixing process. June, who you've already met, has been hard at work taking the audio tracks we have from everybody and compiling them alongside the free-to-use instrumental provided by Daryl from Utalive. Don't worry, we'll be giving full credit in video comments and descriptions and everything when that comes around. Um, Ultimately, we are shockingly, after all this and after a month of hiatus plus from the group as a result of the holidays, kind of to be expected if we're completely honest, we are down to the final sets of recordings coming in. We're getting the last sets of re-recordings and requests from myself in June, and we're just getting into the phase that is effectively just revisions. We're going over and over and over the audio and making sure we get the layout we like and the organization of people that we like to make it sound as good as it possibly can, um, with the internal skills that exist within the IIP. So, very tentative date here, but at the earliest, the Diamond City Lights audio only cover will be released at the earliest, I repeat, on March the 20th. It could spiral and come out in April. I would anticipate it probably doesn't come out any later than mid to late April, but knowing the way that we've been talking about this, there's an expectation that it's probably going to be late March or early April, and that March 20th date is the first official date since me speculating January of this year. We'll see how badly that went down in my previous videos discussing the progression of DCL. Moving on to key point the second. Oh no, I spoiled it. I have 6 key points. My second key point. Come on, Google Docs, allow me to use you for my own benefit for once. Cool. So, previously, the entire project has been run and the updates have been posted through 2 social media routes. The primary one being my Twitter account, and the secondary one that's probably eventually going to surpass my social media, being the aforementioned IIP YouTube channel, which is sitting right here. It has the previous Director Speaks videos, it has Rise video discussing the art design, and June's video discussing the design of the logo. Well, we have one more to add to that pantheon, and that would be right here. You can see we haven't fully set up the profile yet, but we do now, at long last, have an IIP Twitter. So here's the deal with the IIP Twitter. This will be where the official updates from the IIP will come out with regards to promotions, member reveals, teases of things, announcements of other songs that are in the works. Before you see me or anyone talk about them on YouTube, you will see a tweet about those things. And that is being regulated primarily by myself and then one other member of upper management who are working together to run the IIP Twitter. Don't worry, we won't just always be this amalgamous, tweetless blob. We actually have some fairly exciting things upcoming with regards to the social media. For those wondering and who didn't catch it, it is at Indie Idol Project with a CT because the E makes it slightly too long and I hate myself. But that is our Twitter handle. It is right here for those who are wondering. And please give it a follow if you want the most up-to-date possible information with regards to IIP progress. Which leads me into one other huge thing that will be going down, and I hinted at it. It'll be going down on the Twitter. Only on the Twitter. There will be nothing on the YouTube with regards to this until after the song comes out. My early videos I didn't do very well when it comes to hiding the influence of the names of people on the side of the screen. I got better at that. And I will in fact be unlisting the first ever announcement video because my explanation of the philosophy of the IIP in this video is much more poignant and will be much more accurate to what the IIP truly is nowadays, 5 months into the production process. But on the Twitter, we will be slowly revealing one by one the identities of the 13 Foundation's members. You know 3 of them. You've already met Rai, you've already met June, and of course you've already met me. But you'll meet the rest of the group slowly in the weeks leading up to the release of the Diamond City Lights cover. So keep your eyes peeled to the Twitter because we've got some fun in store when it comes to revealing who's who. Next fun point. Or not fun depending on your perspective. So the most ambitious portion of the first IIP project was always going to be the Diamond City Lights MV. I falsely set out some sort of expectation through my grandiose scheming that the IIP's MV would be something professional grade that didn't look like it was made by hobbyists, didn't look like it was made in spare time or for fun, but looked like it had been professionally produced. That goes counter to the spirit of the IIP. So I think it's very important that before I explain the timeline and the way the MV work will go on in the future, that I make it very clear what the IIP actually is. The IIP, as the members of Foundations have agreed, is a project put together for indie VTubers to demonstrate that we have the skills to put together a quality cover and an MV that we can be proud of. It does not have to be professional level. We are not outsourcing anything. Everything is done in-house with the skills of the people involved, and there is nothing demanding that anyone put any more time into it than they want to. If you want to invest a ton of time and make your parts of the MV perfection, that is your decision. To make yourself comfortable with this thing being on the internet. There's no expectation from me or anyone else running the project, and I hope from our fans that we will be producing something akin to something that the corporations could make. I still think what we turn out will look fantastic. We have a great idea for the narrative language of this MV, and I still think it'll turn out looking great because we have great talent behind it. But we're not going to push it out. We're not going to outsource it to make it look perfect. It's going to be done by our people, and it's going to be done on their pace. Because the IIP at its core is a bunch of people who want to do something, doing something, and working together to create something lasting. So, as I've hinted, the MV is not coming anytime soon. The MV is sort of the capstone, the big showy thing for this project. We can make music quicker than we can make an MV. So, the MV will take as long as it takes, but it will come eventually. In the meantime, there will be more covers, there will be more videos like this one, there will be Twitter posts, there might be collab streams where people are talking about IIP stuff or hanging out with other IIP members. And there will be more and more people becoming involved. But overall, the key thing to understand is the MV does not have a deadline. The deadline for the MV is however long it takes our art team to be confident in what they've created and to be happy with what they've made. Them, not you. On to my next point. As we begin to wind down the process of working on Diamond City Lights, we get into the liminal space in between the first and final songs of the project. And a decision came along in last meeting that we didn't really see a need to put a formal end to the IIP. We decided that the IIP in spirit was about bringing people together. So one of the coolest things that we thought we could do is, instead of forming formative units out of Foundation's members and members of whoever comes next, we would allow the units to form organically as a result of people working together to cover songs they wanted to cover with other IIP members. Those groups can stay together and do multiple covers and come up with a group name or lore or anything along those lines if they want to, but we're not going with the classical idol unit. We are going with something more akin to a large group of individual performers who have worked together before, have rapport, and will willy-nilly decide that they want to cover specific songs. We have discussed more than a few songs as options. We have a group that has already begun working on a song that I mentioned in my very first video, Hall Life Miss Nonfiction. The production team is planning on doing a cover of Gunjo Sanka from Project Sekai. And then I personally am pushing to do a cover of 40MP and Gumi's Natsukoi Hanabi, which is one of my favorite Vocaloid songs of all time. It makes me cry 100% of the time. It's a very exciting process because that is by no means the minimum of like what could come out. You could get so many different songs. You could get duets. You could get random pairings of IIP members that you would never expect making a cover of a song that you would never expect them to cover. You could get two guys covering a girl's song or two girls covering a guy's song. You never know, and that's sort of the fun of the way that the IIP unit system is going to work, is that it's entirely up to the brilliant creative minds of the people involved. On to my fifth point. I mentioned briefly the fact that the original concept for units was the members of Foundations plus the members of the second age of the IIP. While I have no formative date for when the IIP will be beginning, air quotes, recruiting again, aka when myself and maybe a few others will begin saying, hey, the IIP is open, we're entering this free-form phase where you can work with people in the IIP and use IIP resources to cover what you want to cover, and just have like a network of musical collaborators to do covers with that you don't have to search far and wide for. Um, while I have no formative date for when that will occur, I will say that the second age of the IIP, the recruitment period will last somewhere around a month after the release of the first song, and that will be the second age, which I haven't come up with a clever name for yet, so maybe I'll make a video on why I name it that down the line, who knows. But just great to know the IIP is opening back up. The 13 Foundations members are not all that the IIP will ever be, at least I hope so. I'm hoping that we can gain enough success from the first song to have some other people gain interest in becoming involved, because I love this project and everyone involved loves this project, and so we are hoping that we can continue to do things moving forwards. I have more words? I think I have more words here, right? No? Yeah. Okay. I'm very stupid sometimes, can you tell? This is my final listed point. I have one more thing to say at the end here that is very important. Yes. Devlogs and updates moving forward will be basically the developer speaks or director speaks videos will continue to come whenever I have significant information. Be that the opening of the second age, be that the announcement of a major collab or a major development. But things like Rise devlog series that was going to happen with the art will probably not happen because the slow production of the art means that for very long periods of time there probably wouldn't be anything to talk about. I'm going to check with June and see if she would like to make a video discussing the editing process after the edit is finished. But there are a couple things that I can announce in terms of confirmed videos that will be coming down the line. One of them is I am planning on putting together a small video consisting of interviews with every member of the IIP regarding what it was like to be in the IIP, because I can only provide so much information about how it actually is without being implicitly biased or sounding like I'm just trying to sell us up. So what's the best thing I can do? I can let the members speak their opinions on how the project was run and see what they say and see if that draws attention. The other thing is, at the very least, once the original audio version comes in, we will be submitting our recording to Selen's Niji radio streams for the future to be viewed there, and there may or may not, probably will be a clip of at least me, maybe more people, reacting to their reaction. Yes, React content is cringe, I know, but if we get shown on that stream, that'd be such a huge moment for the IIP as a whole in terms of exposure, that I think it's hard to pass up. That is all I have. I appreciate everyone supporting the IIP, and if you want to stay up to date, follow us on Twitter, like and subscribe to this video. I know I'm shilling, I don't usually do this, but we've got cool stuff coming down the pipeline, so I hope that I'll see you in the future.